Consumer Reports just dropped a bombshell for truck lovers, and if you care about reliability that goes the distance, this is where things get exciting. These are the trucks owners keep for decades, the ones that rack up insane mileage without begging for mercy, and every single one of them has earned a reputation for engines that just refuse to quit. We're talking real-world reliability, not hype, and once you hear these names, you'll understand why some trucks are legends while others fade away. Starting strong, the Toyota Tacoma continues to dominate reliability charts, and Consumer Reports keeps pointing to its bulletproof powertrains. The 2.7-liter 4-cylinder and the 3.5-liter V6 are famous for surviving brutal use, off-road punishment, and years of daily driving without drama. Tacoma owners don't baby these trucks, and that's exactly why the engine's longevity stands out so loudly. It's the kind of truck you buy once and pass down. Right behind it, the Toyota Tundra earns massive respect thanks to its legendary I-Force V8 engines. Consumer Reports consistently highlights how these engines age incredibly well, even at high mileage. Whether it's the 4.6-liter or the 5.7-liter V8, Tundra owners regularly report hundreds of thousands of miles with minimal repairs. This truck isn't flashy, it's faithful, and that's why it keeps showing up as one of the most reliable full-size trucks ever built. The Honda Ridgeline may surprise some people, but Consumer Reports has been praising its reliability for years. Its naturally aspirated V6 is smooth, efficient, and incredibly durable. This is a truck designed for people who want zero headaches, and the engine reflects that philosophy perfectly. Ridgeline owners often talk about nothing breaking, nothing rattling, and nothing going wrong, even after years of ownership. Then there's the Chevrolet Silverado 1500, specifically models equipped with the 5.3-liter V8. Consumer Reports data shows that when properly maintained, this engine is an absolute workhorse. It's been around for years, refined again and again, and it's known for taking abuse while still delivering strong performance. This is one of those engines mechanics trust, and that trust doesn't come easily. The Ford F-150 earns its place thanks to the legendary 5.0-liter Coyote V8. Consumer Reports highlights its strong reliability record compared to other powertrains in the segment. This engine blends modern engineering with old-school toughness, and that combination pays off in long-term ownership. High mileage doesn't scare this engine, and that's exactly what truck buyers want to hear. Nissan quietly built a monster in the Titan, especially with its 5.6-liter Endurance V8. Consumer Reports notes its solid reliability and long-lasting performance, and owners back that up with real-world results. This engine doesn't get the spotlight often, but it's one of the most underrated long-life V8s on the road, built to haul, tow, and keep going without complaint. The GMC Sierra 1500, sharing DNA with the Silverado, shines with the same dependable 5.3-liter V8. Consumer Reports consistently shows strong owner satisfaction and reliability scores here, proving that this engine's reputation isn't luck, it's engineering. Sierra buyers get refinement without sacrificing durability, and that balance makes this truck a long-term winner. Another surprise favorite is the Ford Ranger, especially with its durable 4-cylinder powertrains from recent generations. Consumer Reports points out that the Ranger's engines are built for endurance, not just short-term performance, and that's why owners report strong reliability even after years of hard use. This truck was designed to handle daily driving, weekend hauling, and long-term ownership without becoming a money pit. It's a mid-sized truck that punches way above its weight when it comes to engine longevity. The Ram 1500 earns its spot on this list with the classic 5.7-liter Hemi V8, an engine that Consumer Reports recognizes for its durability when properly maintained. This power plant delivers muscle, sound, and long-term reliability all in one package. Owners who stick to regular maintenance often see these engines go well past the 200,000 mile mark, proving the Hemi isn't just about power, it's about staying power. Mazda may not be the first name you think of when it comes to trucks, but the Mazda B series deserves respect. Consumer Reports data shows these trucks, especially those with the naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engines, are shockingly reliable. Simple engineering, fewer things to break, and proven components make this one of those hidden gems that quietly keeps running year after year. Rounding out this list is the Toyota Hilux, a global legend that Consumer Reports reliability studies consistently praise where data is available. Its diesel and gasoline engines are built with longevity as the top priority, not speed or luxury. This is the truck known worldwide for surviving war zones, extreme climates, and total neglect, and the engine is the reason why. What makes these trucks different isn't luck or marketing. It's proven engineering, consistent maintenance records, and owner reports that tell the same story over and over again. These are engines that don't just last 5 or 10 years, they stay strong for decades. Consumer Reports didn't just pick these names randomly, they earned their spots through real-world data, long-term testing, and feedback from people who actually live with these trucks every day. And the biggest takeaway here is that if you're shopping smart and thinking long-term, these are the trucks that keep delivering long after others have given up. Because when you invest in a truck, you're not just buying horsepower or a badge, you're buying peace of mind. These engines prove that reliability still exists in a market flooded with overcomplicated tech and short-term designs. Consumer Reports keeps highlighting one key pattern here. Naturally aspirated engines, proven platforms, and conservative tuning are what separate forever trucks from disposable ones. Owners of these trucks don't talk about constant repairs or warning lights. They talk about oil changes, routine maintenance, and engines that feel just as strong at 150,000 miles as they did at 50,000. That's the real flex. When a truck fires up every morning without hesitation, year after year, that's reliability you can feel. What's also interesting is how many of these trucks share a similar philosophy. They aren't chasing the latest trends or risky experiments. Instead, they rely on engines that have been refined over time, tested in the real world, and trusted by millions of drivers. Consumer Reports data shows that the trucks with the longest lasting engines are usually the ones that didn't try to reinvent the wheel. And here's the part most people overlook: how these reliable engines protect your wallet long term. Fewer breakdowns mean fewer shop visits, lower repair costs, and stronger resale value. These trucks don't just save you stress, they save you serious money over the years, which is why so many owners say they'd buy the same truck again without hesitation. If you've ever wondered why you still see old Tacomas, Tundras, Silverados, and F-150s on the road with faded paint but strong engines, this is the reason. These trucks were built during eras when durability mattered more than gimmicks, and Consumer Reports keeps confirming that those design choices pay off in the long run. And as the truck market keeps changing, with more turbochargers, hybrid systems, and complex electronics entering the picture, these forever-lasting engines stand as a reminder that simple, proven powertrains still win. That's why buyers who value long-term ownership keep coming back to these models, generation after generation, trusting that the engine under the hood will still be running strong long after the warranty expires. And that trust is everything when it comes to trucks that are meant to work, not just look good in a driveway. Consumer Reports emphasizes that long-term reliability isn't accidental. It's the result of engines engineered with thicker components, lower stress levels, and cooling systems designed to survive real abuse. These trucks weren't built to impress for a test drive. They were built to last through years of real life. Another pattern jumps out when you look at owner feedback. Many of these trucks stay in the same family for years, sometimes decades. They get handed down to kids, used as work trucks, farm trucks, or daily drivers, and the engine just keeps going. That kind of longevity creates loyalty, and loyalty is something Consumer Reports data captures loud and clear. It's also worth noting how these engines perform under pressure. Towing heavy loads, climbing steep grades, and operating in extreme heat or cold doesn't faze them. Whether it's a Tundra hauling a trailer, a Tacoma crawling off-road, or an F-150 grinding through long work days, these engines are built to operate without breaking a sweat. That consistency is what separates a reliable truck from a risky one. And while newer trucks promise better fuel economy or more tech features, Consumer Reports shows that reliability is still the #1 factor that keeps owners satisfied long term. A fancy screen doesn't matter when your truck won't start. What matters is an engine that shows up every single day, no excuses. That's why these trucks dominate high mileage lists and why mechanics often recommend them without hesitation. They're familiar, predictable, and proven. When a mechanic says that engine will run forever if you take care of it, chances are it's one of the models on this list. So if you're looking at the truck market right now, trying to decide what's actually worth your money, these Consumer Reports backed choices offer a clear roadmap. They prove that you don't need the newest or the most expensive truck to get the best long-term value. You need an engine with a track record of survival, and every truck mentioned here has already proven it can go the distance. And that distance isn't measured in months or even years. It's measured in hundreds of thousands of miles. Consumer Reports data keeps reinforcing the same reality. These engines age gracefully, power delivery stays consistent, internal wear remains minimal, and catastrophic failures are rare. That's the kind of reliability most truck buyers hope for but rarely get. What really separates these trucks from the rest of the pack is how forgiving they are. Miss an oil change once, drive in extreme conditions, put them through daily stop and go traffic, or non-stop highway miles. These engines are built with margins that protect them from real-world mistakes. Consumer Reports owner surveys repeatedly show fewer complaints and fewer engine-related issues compared to rivals. There's also something psychological about driving a truck you trust completely. You don't worry about long road trips. You don't hesitate to tow that extra load. You don't flinch when the odometer keeps climbing. Owners of these trucks talk about confidence, and that confidence comes directly from an engine that has already proven itself time and time again. And let's not ignore resale value. Trucks with legendary engines hold their value longer because buyers know exactly what they're getting. A high-mileage Tacoma or Tundra doesn't scare people, it attracts them. Consumer Reports highlights how reliability directly translates into stronger demand on the used market, which is a huge advantage for long-term owners. As new regulations push automakers towards smaller, more complex engines, these proven power plants stand out even more. They represent a golden era of truck engineering where longevity came first. That's why so many drivers actively search for specific engine options instead of just trim levels or features. So when Consumer Reports reveals a list like this, it's not just information, it's a warning and a guide at the same time. A warning that not all trucks are created equal, and a guide showing exactly which ones are built to stay alive far longer than most people expect. And that expectation gap is where most buyers get burned. They assume every modern truck will last, but Consumer Reports data proves that only certain engines truly earn that reputation. These trucks didn't just survive lab tests, they survived real owners, real workloads, and real neglect, and that's the ultimate stress test. Another key detail Consumer Reports highlights is consistency across model years. These engines didn't have one lucky generation, they delivered reliability year after year. That kind of consistency builds trust not just with owners, but with mechanics, fleet operators, and long-term reviewers who see patterns most buyers never notice. Fleet usage is especially revealing. When companies buy trucks in bulk and run them non-stop, weak engines fail fast. Yet many of the trucks on this list are the same ones fleets keep ordering again and again. That's not coincidence, that's proof. Engines like the Toyota V6, GM's 5.3-liter V8, and Ford's 5.0 Coyote consistently survive the harshest duty cycles without falling apart. There's also a reason you see online forums filled with owners bragging about mileage milestones. 200,000 miles isn't a miracle for these trucks, it's an expectation. 300,000 miles doesn't sound crazy. Consumer Reports owner satisfaction surveys reflect that pride, and pride only exists when reliability backs it up. And while some brands chase innovation at all costs, these trucks show that evolution beats revolution. Small improvements, better materials, smarter cooling, and proven designs add up over time. Consumer Reports repeatedly shows that engines built this way suffer fewer major failures and maintain performance longer than more experimental powertrains. That's why so many truck buyers ignore flashy ads and go straight to reliability rankings. When the goal is long-term ownership, downtime is the enemy, and these engines were built to fight it. Every truck on this list represents thousands of data points all pointing in the same direction. Dependability wins every time, and dependability becomes priceless when a truck is part of your daily life. Whether it's getting to work, hauling equipment, towing on weekends, or handling unpredictable weather, these engines deliver consistency that owners come to rely on without even thinking about it. Consumer Reports emphasizes that the best engines are the ones you forget about because they never cause problems. What's fascinating is how many of these trucks still feel solid even after years of use. No excessive oil consumption, no constant sensor failures, no sudden loss of power. Consumer Reports reliability data shows that engine-related complaints remain surprisingly low even as mileage climbs, and that's a huge deal in today's market. Maintenance also plays a role, but these engines don't demand perfection. Regular oil changes, basic care, and common sense upkeep are usually enough to keep them running strong. That tolerance for real-world ownership is exactly why Consumer Reports ranks them so highly. They're built for humans, not just engineers. Another standout factor is how well these engines handle long idle times and heavy workloads. Construction sites, delivery routes, long towing sessions, these are conditions that kill weak engines. Yet the trucks on this list are often chosen specifically for those jobs because their engines can take the punishment without falling apart. And even as newer trucks push smaller turbocharged engines, Consumer Reports data shows many owners still prefer these proven power plants. There's less stress, less heat, and fewer components waiting to fail. That simplicity directly translates into longevity, and longevity is what defines a forever engine. This is why truck loyalty runs so deep. Once someone owns a truck that never lets them down, switching brands becomes almost impossible. Consumer Reports owner surveys show repeat buyers sticking with the same models because trust, once earned, is hard to replace. And as we continue breaking down what makes these engines so special, it becomes clear that their reputation isn't built on nostalgia. It's built on numbers, patterns, and years of proof that these trucks were engineered to keep moving long after others have stopped. And that proof shows up every time the key turns and the engine fires without hesitation. Consumer Reports repeatedly highlights cold start reliability as a major factor, and these trucks excel there. Extreme winters, scorching summers, and everything in between don't stop them. When other engines struggle, these just do their job. Another overlooked advantage is how these engines age mechanically. Timing chains instead of belts, conservative compression ratios, and robust internal components all contribute to long-term survival. Consumer Reports data shows fewer catastrophic failures because these engines aren't pushed to their limits straight from the factory. They're designed with longevity baked in. It's also why you'll hear stories of these trucks surviving situations they were never meant to endure. Floods, long storage periods, brutal towing schedules, yet the engines keep running. Consumer Reports owner reports often mention engines outlasting transmissions, suspensions, and even the body itself. When the engine becomes the strongest part of the truck, you know something was done right. Then there's the sound and feel of these engines. Smooth idle, consistent power delivery, and no strange vibrations even at high mileage. That mechanical confidence builds over time, and owners notice it. Consumer Reports satisfaction surveys reflect that sense of security, which is something newer, unproven engines simply can't offer yet. What really drives the point home is how predictable these engines are. No mystery failures, no sudden surprises. When something does wear out, it's usually a normal maintenance item, not a major internal repair. Consumer Reports consistently shows lower engine repair severity for these trucks compared to competitors. And as we keep digging deeper into why these trucks earned their forever reputation, it becomes obvious that this list isn't about brand loyalty. It's about engineering decisions that prioritize survival. These engines were built with one mission in mind: keep running no matter what. And that mission is exactly why these trucks continue to dominate roads long after newer models disappear. Consumer Reports notes that durability doesn't just protect the engine, it protects the entire ownership experience. Fewer breakdowns mean less stress, fewer unexpected expenses, and far more confidence behind the wheel. Another key element is how these engines respond to mileage accumulation. Instead of degrading rapidly, they wear in slowly. Consumer Reports long-term reliability tracking shows that performance loss is minimal, oil pressure remains stable, and internal components hold up remarkably well even deep into high mileage territory. That kind of slow aging is rare. You also see it in how these trucks are modified. Owners lift them, tow heavier loads, install off-road gear, and still trust the engine to handle it. Consumer Reports data doesn't just reflect stock usage, it captures real-world behavior, and these engines consistently survive conditions that would shorten the lifespan of less robust designs. There's a reason certain engines develop cult followings: the Toyota V6, GM's 5.3 V8, Ford's Coyote. These names carry weight because they've earned it. Consumer Reports backs up that reputation with numbers, not opinions. When thousands of owners report the same outcome, it's no longer anecdotal, it's a pattern. And while technology keeps evolving, the fundamentals remain the same: strong internals, efficient cooling, conservative tuning. Consumer Reports repeatedly shows that when those fundamentals are present, engines last. When they're not, problems follow, no matter how advanced the tech appears. As we continue unpacking this list, one thing becomes impossible to ignore. These trucks weren't designed to be replaced quickly. They were built to stay, built to endure, built to rack up miles while the rest of the truck slowly wears around the engine, proving that true reliability is still very much alive and more valuable than ever in today's truck market. Consumer Reports makes it clear that reliability isn't just a bonus anymore, it's a necessity. With repair costs climbing and modern vehicles becoming more complex, owning a truck with a forever-lasting engine feels like a competitive advantage. What truly separates these trucks is how rarely they become financial burdens. Owners aren't budgeting for engine rebuilds or bracing for catastrophic failures. Instead, they're planning road trips, work projects, and long-term ownership with confidence. performance. Consumer Reports shows that these engines dramatically reduce lifetime ownership costs, and that alone puts them in a league of their own. Another powerful detail is how well these engines respond to proper care. Regular oil changes don't just maintain them, they reward you. Engines on this list often run smoother and stronger as mileage increases, almost as if they're built to thrive with time. Consumer Reports data repeatedly shows lower long-term repair frequency for owners who stick to basic maintenance, proving these engines are partners, not liabilities. Even emission systems and supporting components tend to last longer because the engines themselves operate under less stress. Lower heat, stable combustion, and predictable performance all contribute to a longer overall lifespan. Consumer Reports highlights that engine stability often protects surrounding systems, reducing chain reaction failures that plague less reliable designs. Then there's the peace of mind factor. Knowing your truck won't leave you stranded changes how you use it. You drive farther, you tow heavier, you rely on it more. Consumer Reports owner surveys consistently reflect that sense of trust, and trust is something no spec sheet can sell. It has to be earned over time. As the truck industry continues to evolve, these engines represent a benchmark. They show what's possible when durability comes first. They remind buyers that while technology changes, the value of a dependable engine never does. And that's why these trucks continue to be recommended, respected, and remembered. Think about how rare that really is. Vehicles today are packed with tech that ages fast, but an engine like these becomes more valuable the longer it runs. High mileage stops being a warning sign and starts becoming a badge of honor. Owners proudly talk about their odometers because those numbers represent trust earned, not risk taken. These engines also change how people use their trucks. Drivers become more confident taking longer trips, towing heavier loads, or keeping the truck longer than planned. Consumer Reports data consistently shows that owners of highly reliable trucks delay replacement far longer than average, simply because there's no reason to move on. And that's the final takeaway. For everlasting engines create freedom. Freedom from constant repairs, freedom from buyer's remorse, freedom from worrying whether today will be the day something goes wrong. These trucks weren't built to impress for a moment, they were built to endure. And that endurance is exactly why they continue to earn their place at the top of Consumer Reports' reliability rankings.